我们邀请到的是 Caps 来接受我们的采访。We are now joined by Caps. You can hear the fans here are crazy. Could you say hello and introduce yourself to your audience?
I want to thank you guys. You've been cheering so much for us, even when we were losing. We were 1-2 down in the series. I could come on stage and hear you guys cheer, so thank you guys.
非常感谢现场所有的人支持我们，即使我们在输的时候，你们还是那么一如既往的支持我们，而且我们可能在输的时候，你们还一直呐喊。其实我听到你们呐喊也会觉得非常的开心。那接下来想知道 Caps 其实今天呢，他们能够打败 SKT， 在这样的一个比武当中，他觉得他们队伍当中是做到了什么比 SKT 更强呢？Actually, this was like insane theory, and why do you think you are so much stronger than SKT today?
So I'm not really sure what exactly happened, but I think we just they had some really good preparation, and I mean some of it didn't work, but in the end, the game 5 we had a very weird comp, but it ended up working. So I think it's like the creativity.
其实我觉得我也不太清楚我们到底是做到了什么能够比他们更强。其实他们有做很多的准备，可能有很多准备也没有成功的有用吧。但是可以看到我们在最后一局的时候，我们拿出了一个很奇怪的阵容，但这个奇怪的阵容最后也是成功的、有效的，可能发挥了它的作用，所以我们就赢了。那刚刚他也是提到了最后一局他们拿到了这样的双法师的阵容，他是怎么样评价这样的一个阵容？是不是因为他们队伍当中有 Perkz， 所以才足够让他们拿到这样的一个阵容呢 ？You mentioned about the game 5, the Syndra and the Lissandra composition. So is that because the Perkz in your team that you can like let that out?
Yeah, so I mean we've been playing a lot of AD carries, but we were going into game 5, and Perkz said if I get a mage, then it's 3-win. So we gave Perkz a mage.
Perkz 跟我说，如果他能够拿到法师的话，我应该是可以随便赢的，所以我们就能够赢得这一场比赛。OK， 接下来想知道，因为其实可以看到。Caps 呢，它其实在很多英雄上面都使用的非常好。可能有很多人的评论都是说，当 Caps 拿到像塞拉斯、像瑞兹、像阿卡丽这样的英雄的时候，觉得好像这些英雄非常的 OP， 可能是做坏了，或者说过于的强大。那我想知道 Caps 心中是觉得他比较强一些，还是因为这些英雄比较强而已？I can see some comments where some like analysts saying that like Akali or Ryze or another Sylas is too OP or broken. So what's your opinion on that? Is Caps OP or the champions are OP?
I think the champions are kind of OP. I mean that's why we also banned them a lot, right? I think there are a lot of mid champs that are really strong right now. Obviously, I would love to say that I was just really OP, but then again, I was playing against Vega, so.
我觉得其实可能中单英雄有很多很强的英雄在这个版本当中，所以我们也是搬掉了很多中路这样一些比较强势的英雄。但是可能我也是比较强吧，但我跟 Faker 对线嘛，我也不能这样说。好，那最后一个问题，因为明天他们可能要对上的是 Team Liquid， 我想知道他对于明天的这一场巅峰对决是怎么样看待的 ？We'll play against Team Liquid tomorrow in the final. What's your thought on that? Who's better, North America or Europe?
So I think we live in a weird world where we have to take down SKT to face Team Liquid. And we were really excited for the matchup against IG because they beat us so many times, so we wanted revenge. And we're gonna make TL regret beating IG.
其实我觉得这一次的世界赛还是蛮奇妙的一段旅程，因为我们打败了 SKT， 进入到了决赛当中。但是其实我们还是蛮想跟 IG 对决的，我们想在决赛当中可以跟他们复仇。不过我们接下来要跟 Team Liquid 的对决，在决赛当中的话，我们想让 Team Liquid 后悔他们打败了 IG， 要面对我们。OK，congratulations， 我们的3号采访到此先告一段落。Thank you。
Thank you.
Welcome to MSI Cooldown, where we're recapping that G2 win and looking towards the final.
Say it again.
In Taipei. That G2 win. That G2 win over SKT Europe. We got to see it. I feel like Kobe got to come on here with an American flag and a Canadian jersey. We don't have a flag or a jersey.
We do have a Welshman.
We do have a Welshman. Very important. We brought an actual, honest to goodness European with us. Just a stunning day. But I feel like you tried to keep it together through most of the cash. Like, I will not get excited about Europe. I am a caster.
So, like, for the first 3.5 games, I actually genuinely felt nothing. I was like, this is just a standard game of League of Legends. I had nothing to worry about. And then Faker landed that Gnar ultimate, and then overwhelming stress filled my body, and I was like, we could lose. I was like, that is not okay. And then it was like, don't be biased. This is a game of League of Legends. And then at that point, I was like, this is really stressful now, but Oh, game 5 also wasn't very comfortable. I don't like Faker anymore. He's really good at League of Legends.
Yeah, game of League of Legends, game of like inches. It felt like it came down to so many just individual clutch moments between both SKT and G2. Ultimately, we went the distance. We got the silver scrapes. It was G2 that comes out on the top, but like this series blew my mind. This is probably one of the best League of Legends series I think I've ever seen.
And like, we didn't say it actually much on the cast, but the more I think about it, right, like, in the LCK finals, Teddy was the guy that actually drew so much attention due to his amazing team fight. Like, that guy actually deserves so much props for his team. Like, he was never the focus, but like, he also like very rarely died in so many of those fights. And his positioning was so good. Like, I really want to go back and watch because of how talented like both these teams were. Like, it was truly a spectacle to watch. And it turns out that 2 EU mids are in fact greater than 1 Faker. That's the only conclusion I can draw.
Perkz like, I can't beat him by myself. Cap's like, I can't beat him by myself. Come with me.
Well, you sound excited about the series, so let's relive it. Let's look back at some of those highlight moments, some of those big moments across what was a 5-game series. And as you said, so many clutch moments, so many situations where it felt like 30 health, 1.5 seconds on a cooldown, one exactly well-positioned ult was the game changer.
And it was also the decision-making in how we were setting up these fights. SKT came out swinging in this series. It felt like they looked like a completely different animal, revamping the early game. Clid was an absolute god, just a monster. But the fact that G2 held the mental fortitude, that they had enough tricks up their sleeve, that they constantly went toe-to-toe with SKT, a pentakill in an MSI semifinal, you were sweating. I was dying back here.
It really did feel like as well that Caps, like I saw a hilarious tweet which was just like game 1, craps, game 2, claps, game 3, craps, game 4, claps. And it felt like that you never really knew which player was going to show up, and like you saw both the best and worst of Caps throughout this series.
I love that you say that because it's not just the best and worst of Caps, it's also the best and worst of G2. And at some point, if your champion from your region plays this style, you just have to take the good with the bad. This is G2. Take them or leave them. This is how they play League of Legends, and they didn't change that here against SKT.
I mean, I see you watching. You can't see Vedius' face at home, but Vedius is literally watching that Gnar ultimate as Wunder ends game 4 and is almost crying here with us. And this game, of course, I'll be honest, when the draft was locked in for the side of G2 Esports, I thought for sure that SKT would take this series back because the Pyke is good, but it was also like, if anything goes wrong,
Get out of here.
I was terrified.
Get out of here.
You predicted 3-2. You can't come in like you were like, yes, absolute confidence coming into the day.
Because here's the thing, SKT, they try to perfect the rulebook. They look at what the tournament meta was, and they made the adaptations to meet it. They had the early game, Clid was there, their composition, the teams, everything looked perfect. But G2 don't care about the rulebook. They take it, they throw it out. And it was that creativity, Cap said it in his interview, Pyke had it in that champion up there, like that's what won them the day. Play your style.
Absolutely. Wunder was a complete and total machine that series, but for more on that victory, let's send it over to Shox, who's standing by with 2 members of the victorious G2.
Thank you very much, Drakos. Indeed, I'm here with Perkz and with Wunder, who just got a chance to relive some of the hypest moments from their own best of 5. We already heard it from Cap, so I want to hear from you guys. Perkz, what does it mean to make it to the MSI semifinal after a win over SKT nonetheless?
Well, it means everything to me because I remember last year, like I was kind of like sad and stuff because I couldn't even make it to MSI. I couldn't in Europe, and I wasn't sure what I was doing like wrong, right? And now that we are doing so well with so little time together, even is just amazing. I have no words to describe actually. Yeah, but we are here to take it all. You know, this is like not the end yet.
This is just the first step, Wunder.
Well, yeah, I mean, during the series, I was a bit skeptical because, I mean, they looked like a lot better than when we played them the first time. But still, like, I knew that we had, like, we kind of had, like, some secret picks, and we also, I mean, we played a bit bad, like a bit worse than we maybe, like, could have the first couple of games. So, I mean, I always knew that we could probably take down SKT, and then, like, the final boss was supposed to be IG in the final. But now it's a bit weird, right? Because now we're playing against Team Liquid, so
yeah,
it's not really like the final
Deal
I was
is the
expecting.
final boss.
But I mean, I appreciate them taking on IG for us, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, because you guys had trouble with IG in the past, but talk to me then about that final, because it is unexpected, right? It is Team Liquid that looked incredibly, incredibly strong. So how are you expecting that to go instead of playing IG?
Yeah, honestly, it's just hype, you know, like EU versus NA final, like whatever happens is really hype, you know, because like that's kind of like a dream. Like, if you like look at it like 2 years ago even, like you would never say like EU and NA would like barely make it out of groups, you know, like, but now it's a final at MSI, so it's a really huge step for the whole like Western scene in general. And Yeah, I mean, I definitely think we're gonna win.
Okay, there we go. Wonder, what do you think about the clash?
Yeah, I mean, since I guess we lost to them, like we went 1-1 in groups against them, they should not be underestimated. But I also think in a BO5, we probably, I mean, like as I see it, if we play 10 games against Team Liquid, I would probably expect us to win like 8 or 9 of them. So I think a BO5 would probably favor us a lot more than BO1s, where, like, first of all, anything can happen in BO1, right? And second of all, I mean, there's like less adaptation, which I think we are good at. So I look forward to it at least.
In terms of the mental aspect, do you think you learned or took away a lot from the fact that you guys suffered a really big loss in game 1 of this series, but were able to keep it going and surpass kind of the pressure of a game 5?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think after game 1, it felt like our team morale was a bit down, just from looking at everyone's faces. And I was like, yeah, we just played so Atari, we just got smashed. So I wasn't really sure. We just decided to like go away from it, even though like we were pretty good at it before. So we didn't want to like go like Fnatic like 0-2 with some Atari, and then we have a chance to reverse it, but it's hard, you know.
Yeah.
So we just went to our own style, which we know we are good at. And I mean, when we were 1-2 down, it was like I just had like flashbacks from the RNG series. So I felt kind of in the comfort zone. Not gonna lie, I told my team we're in comfort zone. I told them we're gonna win this game, and I'm gonna pick Mage next game, and we're gonna win. And it all happened. Like I don't wanna like beat that guy, but I'm that guy.
Yeah, and also pretty fun. You actually beat Faker in SKT with a mid laner, right?
Yeah.
Does that count for something?
Yeah, my Syndra is 2 against Faker, 100% minute.
There we go. Wonder, final question about the games. Of course, the Pyke is something we saw you pick last time versus SKT. How much of it was mental advantage that you thought it would trigger in them, and how much was it this works in this comp?
Well, I mean, it was mostly Luca who said we wanted to play AP bot because he didn't really play it this tournament, or like he didn't play it a lot at least. And then we need like AD on other lanes, of course, right? And then, I mean, I guess Pyke was just one of the picks that we could go for. And also with the bans they had, I felt like I kind of knew that I was going to play Pyke into Kennen even before I picked it. That's also what I said to my team, that if I banned like the 2 champs I did after I picked Pyke, I would most likely be playing against Kennen, right? And that's like a fine matchup for me. And it seemed to be pretty fine as well, even though he didn't really, I mean, we were trading sides and he didn't really like push his advantage in early game, but it seemed pretty good, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think it was pretty good. So, final questions here. You talked about it already. This is really a monumental occasion when it comes to League of Legends history. NA versus EU in an MSI final, really a sign of the times changing. I'm going to give you the open floor to say whatever you want to Team Liquid that you're facing in the final tomorrow. Wonder?
Well, I mean, I guess good luck to them, right? I think they are playing way better than they did the first couple of days they played MSI, so I'm still looking forward to it, even though it was not really the final I expected. But I mean, NA versus EU and Rift Rivals coming up soon. I mean, this is going to be, I guess, really good competition for us the next couple of games, yeah.
Okay, nice and respectful. Perkz?
I respect you. I think they are a good team, but I just don't really see how they, like, what do they have over us in a best of 5, where we are very flexible and they don't really know what we're going to show up with. And yeah, I just want to win against Double Lift. I saw some of the TL tweeted that they have the best or second best bot in the tournament, so I'm going to make it the second best.
There we go. I love it. Congratulations. Thank you so much for the interview. A fantastic best of 5. G2 makes it to the MSI final versus Team Liquid. How about them apples? Back to you.
How about it, Shai? I mean, what a world we live in. And we're going to be saying this, I think, for months to come, but EU...
Years.
EU, hopefully not. Hopefully at some point it happens again. But EU NA final, folks. Well, you saw that man, the big man, there in the interview that was wondering...
Is it a small table or a very large?
Very large. He's a big guy, I wonder. Well, he is your MasterCard player of the series. And I think no surprise when you look back at that final Pyke performance.
And the Pyke performance will stand out to everyone, but if you cast your back to the other games, Wunder was also just a consistent backbone for this team. It felt like you did see really the highs and lows of everyone else on this G2 roster, but Wunder was a rock.
Yeah, he certainly was. His consistency should definitely be recognized, and I really loved his Nico. The fact that it drew so many bans, I think, was really valuable for the team, and obviously while they could flex it, I think that's one of the great things about this roster, that you have Wunder, Caps, and Perkz who are all so willing to play all these different champions and are so flexible with each other. The only other person I have to give an honorable mention to is Jankos.
Yeah.
The man had a phenomenal series, and I have a lot of respect for him, considering that this was his first split where he even won a domestic title. And now he's making his way to the MSI finals with this G2 squad, you can't help but be happy for him considering how long he's played the game.
Absolutely. And I think when we look at this matchup, me coming into it, I was nervous about how he's going to face up against Clid. Yes, there were some games where Clid got the better of him, the Halo Blades Rek'Sai game, but other than that, I felt like Jankos was going toe-to-toe. He was such a huge catalyst for his team. And that now puts us in this wonderful position, ladies and gentlemen, because we take one more look at that bracket. Show it to me again. Show it to me 3 or 4 times. Yes, that is not a typo. That is not a misprint. That is not a wrong graphic. That is EU versus NA in the finals at MSI 2019, G2 Esports versus Team Liquid.
And you know what, Dracos? I don't see any NA representatives up here right now. I don't think any of them are mic'd up. Oh, what are we gonna do with all of this free space to talk?
This feeling of overwhelming joy, this euphoria.
Huh. You know what I have to say? It took Double Lift 8 years as an AD carry to get to this
Where are you
final.
going with this?
It took Perkz 3 months to do it. It took Steve, let's just say, $1 bazillion.
That's a good figure.
And
Accurate.
half of Cloud9.
And a world champion. Don't forget about Core JJ. Now, as excited as I am in this exact moment for G2 Esports, hard not to be after a game like that, I'm still, as an EU representative, a little bit nervous heading into tomorrow. So outside of the absolute feeling of joy that you're both filled with, talk to me about this matchup. What do you actually think is going to be the decider? How close is this? At the start of the tournament, I would have said easy peasy. I'm not so sure anymore now that TL's taking down IG.
I personally am looking at Core JJ. I'm actually glad that you brought up his name. We gave him MVP of his series over Invictus Gaming. Played insane, and I think if you limit his impact, take away playmaking champions from him, I definitely think you just start throwing everything and the kitchen sink at that bottom lane and see if you can break.
My eyes are on Jensen. Like, the last time, like, Caps seems to be his kryptonite in the same way that Caps is to Rookie, right? Like, or Rookie is to Caps, rather.
And now Caps is to Faker.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Faker's game 5, LeBlanc is to Faker.
But, like, the last time they met, Jensen was able to solo kill him, and he, working with Xmithy, were able to shut down Caps. And I think that we demonstrated that while Caps has exceptionally high highs, his lows are very punishable. And so if Jensen can have the same performance that he did the last time that they met, then you're in for a very competitive series and an exciting final.
Is this a full best of 5, or is this similar to today where we talked a lot about momentum coming into it? We talked a lot about how one team takes the edge and maybe they can run through the rest of the series.
So you know what? I don't know. My expectations were that IG would smash Team Liquid in a 3-0. And then coming into today, if I'm being honest, I was a little skeptical. I definitely praised you two a lot on social media, but like I was a little nervous.
You're like, I need to be the front runner for our region. Someone has to be the rallying point, but also I'm terrified.
Right, and so like I had no like immediate commitment and faith. So the fact that all these things have now happened, like I don't know. Anything could literally happen in the final. So, best of luck. Have fun.
Have fun. That's your analytical.
Have some good League of Legendos.
I think it's really dependent on kind of what meta for this best of 5 that we have, because it felt like we had very different looks and very different priorities between our best of 5 between SKT and our best of 5 between Invictus Gaming. It felt like G2, at least initially in this best of 5, were like, we're gonna 5v5, we're gonna team fight, we're gonna play it slow. That's how SKT like to play, so let's just try to outscale them. And then they very quickly decided that wasn't how it was gonna go, and they're like, grab the pike, we're fighting, let's go. Whereas TL, we're team fighting a lot, and Invictus Gaming, we're pulling into that. So I wonder if that's gonna be the deciding factor. If it's the 5v5 team fight meta, we'll call it that broadly, then maybe you start airing towards TL, or if it's the let's just kill everyone, League of Legendos party, then you give it to G2.
I will say the thing that stood out to me the most today was whichever team got an early lead ended up being the team that won, right? And Perkz rather said coming into the playoffs that early game is insanely important. It's really, really important. And what we saw with Invictus Gaming versus Liquid was for the majority, like 3 out of 4 of those games, Invictus Gaming actually had a lead, but then failed to close.
They got like Baron first every single time.
Right, and then you look at how Team Liquid, while they did get a lead in game 4, you just compare that to SKT and G2. Both these teams look so strong when they got early advantages. So that's my biggest concern for Team Liquid going up against G2, and it would have been the same for SKT. The early game is the biggest point of weakness that you have to be very careful of.
All right, all in on the early game, something that I personally love to hear, leads to exciting, leads to explosive games. I do want to get one final set of predictions from you. Leading into this, you're both saying how hard it is, but if you have to put a prediction on the line, I know you just want, hey, have fun.
G2 3-0.
G2 3-0, that's some euphoria.
G2 3-1.
G2 3-1. All right, well, take it with a grain of salt because they're both from Europe. I'm from Europe too. Here
There's
we
no
go.
way we're biased.
We'll hear what a more balanced desk sounds like tomorrow on the AD for the MSI Finals. But for myself, the casters, and the entire broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for the conclusion of MSI 2019. See you later.
Welcome back! We're just about ready for SK Telecom to take on G2 Esports. And we need to see whether or not SK Telecom or G2 Esports will have a shot at the title. And oh, that's a flash forward! I did not anticipate that from Teddy, and already on the board, SK Telecom. Here comes Khan, Vanguard's edges down, and the slicing Maelstrom deletes Wunder from the map.
The thing about G2 is they don't care about traditional League of Legends. They don't care about the rulebook. They throw that all out.
He's actually going to sacrifice the inhibitor so that they can just keep farm funneled into the top side of the map.
Khan's coming in with a slicing Maelstrom into all of G2! Caps is already down! Perkz follows, finally cleared his kill, but it is a whitewash. Here comes the Fault Breaker. Clid jumps in, denting blows to Mickey's face. First blood is available. One more auto. Clid can't close the difference.
Just so you know, I need to warm up because I'm always bad game 1. So it's best of 5 and best of 7 if I need, okay?
Khan has arrived to the fight. There goes Caps. Mata is down. Goes all the way back in with the flip. 5-point strike. Picks up a kill into Mata. Now Jankos looking for the stun. That's a double kill for Caps. He flashes over the wall.
Nice. Run to me, run to me, run to me, run to me. Honestly, like, we have Baby Faker and they have Faker.
Drop kill!
We can.
I need Penta.
Come on.
There's the unburrow, and Clid manages to do it. Gets the damage down, sinks in the fangs onto Jankos as well. Here comes Faker as well with the follow-up stun. It's a double. Flag and Drag, I think, got interrupted. There's the slicing Maelstrom on the back line. Khan's already killed Caps. SK Telecom lead the series 2-1.
This is it. Will SKT take it, or is G2 bringing us to game 5?
Getting obliterated. Oh! Massive! Manages to steal the Gnaw. Faker turns around. He hijacks G2's chances. Here comes Wunder. Gnaw into the wall. Into the crunch. Caps and Wunder are on the Nexus. They will not go quietly. The Nexus is being focused, but look at Faker. Nexus, 1 or 2 more hits. Mega Gnaw comes out. Wunder forces game 5.
Nice. You come on.
Wow! Oh my god.
We're actually against Team Liquid. We're actually against Team Liquid.
No way.
We're against Team Liquid.
Where were you when the West rose up to conquer champions? G2 Esports eliminates SK Telecom. North America face Europe at the MSI Finals.